Everybody. I'm Mary Just Starchild, and I am a finalist on Season 5 of The Viral Voice.
Hi, my name is Zenoria, and I'm a finalist for the Viral Voice Season 5.
Hello, Viral Voice. My name is Dorian Dragon, and I am the finalist of Season 5 of the Viral Voice.
If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice before the first episode, what would it be?
I would say to not second guess myself, to just go with my gut and my instincts as a performer, because there were a couple of times when I was hesitant about some of my choices. For example, in the comedy episode, I did change one of my choices. I originally had a parody that I performed on Second Life's 20th birthday, and it was very well received. My first gut reaction was, I'm going to sing that one. That's the one for the comedy episode. But then I said to myself, well, it doesn't really show off my voice as much.
Well, I think my advice will be, hey, Dorian, you should perform more often because you may never know the reaction of people. Because when you are performing in front of your friends, of course, they are praising you, they love you so much. But if you are performing in front of random people that may not like the style of your music, it may be different and it may be much more challenging to hear other people's response of your performance. And as I said, not everybody like rock and roll. Not everybody like the type of music that I'm doing.
The one piece of advice that I would give myself would be stock up on Linden for the sets.
If not you, who should win the Viral Voice Season 5? Why?
I believe that Dorian should win. And the reason why is because I see his shows, I see his talent, and I see the work he puts in. And I'm sure Mary just, he puts in just as much work and he has an awesome talent too, but Dorian really, really studies hard with the guitar. He studies hard with the music, and he's just great all around. And I've seen just the dedication he has to music, and I admire that.
And my nomination will be Marriage's Starchild. Why? Because he's a full package entertainer, he's an awesome singer, and he is a dedicated person with his art. You can see from his choices of songs, the way he presents himself through his clothes, through his set, through his choreography. Everything was done in such brilliant ways with a lot of intentionality and great execution.
That is a tough question. If I were to say, because believe me, if it's not me, I would want both of them to win. But if I were to go just by growth, because Raven has a lot more experience, so she's had a lot more experimentation. Insofar as Dorian, though, I would have him winning because I think that growth that he has displayed and that bravery to step out of what is very much a comfortable repertoire for.
Who was your favorite judge during the season? Why?
Because there have been a lot of good judges, but if I have to pick, and you're gonna hate this, mine is going to be a draw between Lisa Brun and Mayol Ishan. And it was because both of them gave very insightful commentary and feedback.
What's the most memorable piece of feedback you've received from the judges this season?
The most memorable piece of feedback. Pitchiness. Raven, you're pitchy. And you know what? That's okay. That is okay. I'm cool with it.
What does winning Viral Voice mean to you? How much importance does it hold in your life currently?
Actually, winning viral voice means a lot for me. But, you know, at the moment, I'm just starting perform in Second Life, and it's been such amazing journey, amazing experience for me. But in the end, people's heart is much more important.
Out of all your performances, which has been your favorite?
My most favorite one actually was the comedy episode, and it was actually the hardest for me to decide which songs I want to sing, and it was the hardest for me to outfits. But then I figured out that I found this funny rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, and then luckily my team, they were so supportive and they just make everything much more easier.
For me, I would have to say that my favorite performance was my most recent one in the semifinals because all throughout this season, I've tried to show that I could do more things than just opera. But I started with opera. If I was going to be eliminated, I decided I would go back to my roots.
Out of all the performances this season that I was proud of, I think it was six, episode six. That was when I sang I See Red. I think that for me, it was more liberating because everybody's been through something like that, with a heartbreak. A highlight moment from one of these performances, I would say I felt so exhilarated in the very first episode when coming out with Beyonce, and it felt so pure and just so lively. I really enjoyed that.
What's the funniest thing a fan has shouted at you during or after a performance?
So it's got a little bit funny. Someone in the audience sort of shouted at me that I was a one-trick pony. Mostly because there was some disagreement in the audience about vibrato. Long story short, opera singers use vibrato because vibrato is a way to protect the voice, which I thought was hilarious because, here I am an opera singer, but I'm singing ABBA, I'm singing Todrick Hall, I'm singing Hamilton during these performances. So I just thought it was kind of okay. Second funniest thing would be someone threatening to throw her underwear at me on stage. But she's a good friend of mine, and she makes jokes like that all the time. So,
If you could swap lives with another viral voice challenger for a day, who would it be and what would you do?
If I could swap lives with another viral voice challenger for a day, it would be Raven Zenoria. Why? Because I really like her voice, and then I really like the way she dresses. So when I when I can swap lives with her for a day, I would be standing in a mirror, looking at myself, hearing myself singing for one full day.
You entered the competition with your friend Kitty Sparrows, who had to leave after losing a draw to you. How did that moment impact you?
That moment was hard for me. I didn't want Kitty to leave the show. I wanted her to stay with me. And if anything, if it were to come down to she or if I had a choice, it would be me to go. But at the same time, it was sad and it was happy for me. And I know for her as well. And it's still something that I kind of have mixed feelings about, and it will always be something I have mixed feelings about. And I'm always going to feel some type of way with it.
Some people say you shout too much during your performances. What do you have to say to them?
Well, yes, I understand. Again, rock and roll is not for everybody. and saying this in a respectful way. It's okay if you don't like what I'm doing, but if you are a rocker, you need to project your most energy. That is rock and roll. You cannot say that you are a rocker, that you hold yourself back. You should give yourself out and all out. And if you see like me doing crazy things and shouting, screaming, my my role models are even more crazier than what I'm doing. And for example, for the recent episodes where I do much more mellow songs, like I did Changes by Black Sabbath and Let It Be from the Beatles, I think that's my way of trying my best to present the other side of me that is much more softer and mellower without abandoning my rock and roll roots. But yeah, I think again, I don't want to try to please everyone. I don't want to be a person that I'm not. But if you know what I'm saying, if you are a rocker, you need to put your when you are doing that upbeat and energetic songs.
What message would you like to convey to your critics or those who are against furries?
Okay, so that's a question. As you know, we did have a couple of people who were not too keen on there being a furry in the roster for this season. I found it really strange that many of them equated being a furry with kink, which honestly makes me wonder about what things they're looking up on the internet, because for me it isn't. It is just a lifestyle. I love the way the characters look. I like to be colorful. I like a little bit of fantasy in my life. I know that people have issues with furries, but when you look at the issues that they have, they tend to be with specific furries or with specific people and things they do that have nothing to do with being furries. Is about celebrating our differences, about the things that make us unique, about the things that make us not cookie cutter people. And ultimately, I think that is more of the spirit of Second Life than the people who go around trying to shame people for being furries or for not looking the way that they want everyone else to look. So, I'm sorry, but if you decide to hate on furries, maybe you shouldn't be on Second Life, because there's also the other extra surprise. Furries kind of run Second Life in many ways, and furries kind of run the internet in many ways too. So, I mean, good luck, I guess.
Some critics have claimed that you use auto-tune during your performances. How do you respond to these accusations?
I do not use autotune in any live performances whatsoever. I don't like it. It doesn't sound right to me, and it messes me up really bad during my performances. I do allow my producers in real life to add some autotune to the tracks, but that's about it. You'll never hear me use autotune in a live performance. Sorry to disappoint.
Your fans are incredibly passionate, even going as far as trying to boost your scores in creative ways. How do you feel about their intense support and how it might harm other challengers? And what message do you have for them?
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. So the first time I heard it from the Viral Voice team, I was discouraged, and I was really, really kind of feel supported in some ways. So I think I need to communicate to my friends. So right after I heard the news of what happened, I tried to think about how should I communicate to this, and then this is what I said to them. Winning is amazing, but I really want to win friendship. I really want to win relationship with people. I want to win people's hearts. So winning Viral Voice is so cool, But the most important thing is, I just I just want to win people's heart. I want to be friends with everyone, and I even tell everybody. I don't know about this, but backstage we are having so much fun. I mean, we even visit each other's show. We were not making enemies, and that's the message that I want to talk to our fans. We're not making enemies. We are friends on stage and off stage, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, but yeah, in the reality, people may think that we are rivals, but that's the message that I want to convey to our fans. And they're around, I feel like really, they just love me, and I really appreciate it. I don't want to offend them. Tell them, hey, I want to do this in a fair way, and I just want to make it sure that they have that. So I send some messages both in world and in my social media, and I hope they understand. And I think the Viral Voice team had been doing really, really great. And actually, I was ready to be disqualified, my friends. And I told everyone, if I'm not gonna make it, so be it. For me, my most important thing is to be able to sing and to perform with or without Viral Voice. And winning Viral Voice is so cool, and it's gonna be so awesome. But I'd rather win people's hearts and friendship and relationship more than anything else.
How was your experience working with Parallel Universe Productions?
I'm not gonna lie. At first, working with the pup team was a little bit rocky because we didn't really know each other. But as we started to get to know each other and started working together more, and after I stopped being so mean, um, and feral, because that's what I am. I'm a little bit feral. Um, it worked. It's been great. It's been smooth sailing, and all I can say is everybody is so sweet, so nice, and I mean, putting together a TV show, I'm not gonna lie, it's got to be stressful. I know it's stressful, and I've seen a little bit of stress on their faces, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay because this is a huge project, and I don't think I could put together anything like this or even think of putting together anything like this. I really, really like the pup team a lot, and you guys are freaking awesome. Thank you so much for putting this together for us.
This is actually the first time I ever enjoyed a series of event like this, and it's such a blessing, to be honest with you, because this is the first time when I experienced show business in Second Life, and the thing that I want to say is the Parallel Universe team has been doing such a great job, and this is their fifth season, or yeah, I think the fifth year they've been doing this, and that's already an evidence that this show has been going on, and obviously they have already have fans and a pool of people who always be their audience, and I think such a great job, and it's amazing. It's a proof that they have been doing a great job. They've been showing a lot of grace and amazing clarity. I think the way I put it, they've put a lot of works on it, and the way they communicate things to us is excellent, and I praise that.
Working with PUP has been pretty straightforward. Um, the only issues anyone has ever really experienced had to do with the website, which there's never been a moment in the Viral Voice season 5 where I felt that I had a problem that I couldn't come to the showrunners, to everyone involved with the show, and find a way to resolve it. So overall, I would say my experience with Parallel Universe Productions has been extremely positive on the whole. In many cases, you have been a lot more open to communication and issues. Here, there were several issues that popped up, that were not on the side of the show itself necessarily, but you guys took care of it pretty quickly.
One advice you would like to give a singer willing to participate in the next season?
So, if you want to participate in season 6, this is my advice. You just need to be confident of who you are, and at the same time, we just need to be able to detach ourselves to our, the sense of feeling, what is it called, entitled, being entitled of people liking us. And I know it's not easy. I'm a performer myself. I always love people to like me. But then, as a matter of fact, the hard thing is to accept the fact that not everybody likes us, and they may be like constructive criticism to mean and harsh words about your performance or about who you are.
One piece of advice I would give any singer willing to participate in season 6, I would say sing as many shows in Second Life as you possibly can throughout the year. From here out, get as much exposure as you can, because they're going to be your lifeline. Those fans of yours are going to be the ones to decide whether you stay or go. And the more exposure that you have before, the better the outcome.
It's simple, but it's not easy. And what I would tell them is to dare to be themselves. And I know it sounds like a cliche, but you would be surprised at how many singers second guess themselves. So you need to ask yourself, what is it that you can sing with passion better than anyone you know? What do you know, backwards and forwards? What is running through your veins that wants to come out? And then let it come out. And no matter how weird, how strange, how unusual that is, you gotta let it come out.